Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and yes, this is Monstermax, and also, yes, we are in campaign mode on the Yukon in Flooded Foothills. Now, over the past few weeks, I've gotten a lot of requests to bring Monstermax here, and for the longest time, I was thinking about it, and I was like, trying to figure out what we could do or why we would do it. However, the more time went on, and the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. That river has some of the most intense current in any campaign map. And I was like, why don't we just see? Why don't we just see what happens if we bring this thing out here first with the singles, second with the duels? Now, again, like I said before, this is something I've never tried before, so I am not sure how it's going to go over, how it's going to work, how it's going to play out. But I'll tell you one thing, it's going to be fun. So, as you can see, here we are in Flooded Foothills in the Monstermax, and we're going to head for the main river. You guys know the river I'm talking about. Fire's right up. Let's go. Now, as we pull out of the garage here, driving Monstermax around on a campaign map, always feels weird, but driving it on a Yukon map feels even weirder. You feel super out of place, and you feel, whoa, stop, oh my god. All right, well, hey, I'll take that for what it was, and it was freaking cool, so I'll take it. But looking at this for what it is, not only do you feel super out of place, but you feel like, you get that feeling inside where you're like, I shouldn't be doing this. This shouldn't be allowed. And I think the more you drive along, the more you're like, you know what? I'm gonna sell it after this anyway, so it's not like it impacts the campaign at all. So I don't really care necessarily what actually happens, because again, like I said, we're gonna sell it back to the game at the end of this, and we're not doing any campaign missions, and we've already got the whole map explored, so I feel like the argument of it being used to do something unfair in-game kind of goes completely out the window at that point. Now, let's just plunge it directly into this river and see what it does. Now, this is obviously not the main river that we're going for, but, oh man! That's, alright, that's deep. Wasn't deep enough for us to get water damage, but it was definitely deep. That was deeper than I thought it was going to be, actually. Let's see if it's possible for this thing to drive against the current in the main river. This is just an inlet channel to the main river itself. So as we come around this side of this sort of island, or rather, I don't know if you'd call it an island or a peninsula or what you'd actually call it, but regardless, ooh, can the stacks stay above water? Can the stacks stay above water? Yes, they can. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Easy. Whoop. A little bit of an unintentional wheelie there. Trying to, like, avoid unintentional wheelies, but if they happen, they happen. Now, we're getting closer and closer to the main river here, and this is the river that has made it difficult for a KRS Bandit. This is the river that has made it difficult for Freightliners. This is the river that's made it difficult for Caterpillars. I have taken a lot of vehicles, well, I have attempted to take a lot of vehicles through this river that have either had immense difficulty or just straight up not made it. For example, even my Azov 10x10 had trouble through here. So, naturally, we're going to see if we can drive up it. Oh, boy. Well, it's not enough to overcome the current, I can tell you that. Holy smokes. It's not enough to overcome the current when it gets that deep. But let's see if we can keep it sort of on the edge of, like, on the edge of where it gets really, really deep, but just enough to where our tires can still make contact with the ground. I mean, we're kind of moving. We're kind of moving. I mean, as far as an experiment goes, this should tell you, or just show you, how incredibly powerful the current is out here in the Yukon, because this thing can barely, I mean, we all know how crazy powerful this thing is, and this thing is kind of being actually really held back by it. I mean, we're making some progress, but right there, I mean, as you can see, like, it is really struggling to move. It's really, really, really struggling to make a lot of headway on this river. And, I mean, I kind of figured it would struggle, but I didn't figure it would struggle that much. actually partially figured that it was just gonna, like, get into the water and I would gun it and it would just go. But this is absolutely not the case. I mean, is it going? Yes. However, you know, we have to be careful and we have to strategize. I didn't think we were going to have to be careful or strategize. I thought we were going to be able to just, like, point it and go. But not the case at all. Tremendously impressive, though, that it's made it as far as it has. So, God, that's tremendously impressive. I can't think of another truck that would be able to do what this thing just did and, like, live to tell about it. You know what I mean? Like, this thing, again, we still have not reached dangerous water depth yet. And we reached it earlier, but right now, I mean, heck, we're basically in the middle of the river. We are literally basically in the middle of the river. And I don't know if putting the duals on this thing, or the double duals, will actually make that much of a difference, but, okay, yeah, you can see there, she stopped. She has officially stopped. And not only has she stopped, but she has stopped in a place where it's not getting water damage. And that's a big deal, because normally, if it was... Oh my god, are we getting pushed the other way? Holy crap. Let's see. Low minus? Nope. Standard low? Nope. Low plus? Nope again. Alright. Guess it's time to recover her back. And now, see what she does with the double duals. Now, let's go to the 64-inch BKT dual. Front and rear. I love how they're literally rated excellent for everything. And I'm like, they better be. I mean, if you try to buy this thing in campaign mode, you literally pay $501,000 for it. So, it better be excellent. So, let's go back to the river that we were in before and see how the setup reacts now. Now, as far as, like, just driving characteristics go, I mean, it's a little bit weird compared to the singles. You just have to kind of be careful with sudden movements because it doesn't really like sudden movements. Now, I am not going to go over the bridge. Instead, I'm just going to go through here. I don't really feel like there's any point in trying to go over the bridge at this point because we're just so incredibly equipped. And, I mean, we're basically like one of the world's widest tractors right now, or at least the equivalent thereof. So let's make our way down to the river now. And, I mean, not necessarily just this inlet here, but the actual river itself. The big river. Doing pretty well through the mud here, actually. It was not doing this well before. It was actually, like, doing a lot worse than this. I'm impressed at what a big difference the double duals made. So this is where we went before, so let's see if it almost sinks out here this time. Now, granted, the height of the tires is not different, but since the width is a lot wider and we've effectively greatly increased our track width, we might be able to sort of straddle the edges of the river a little bit better, but I'm not sure if that will or will not be the case. So, it made it through there faster, though. Previously, I thought it was really going to beach itself, but this time, it didn't really come all that close. Once you drive this thing out of the water, like, the truck looks like extra shiny. Like, extra shiny. Looks like you just detailed it after you drive it out of the river, which is ironic because this thing was literally built to be beaten up. You know what I mean? So now, let's make it through this sort of inlet slash passage and just see how it does through here, which doesn't seem like it's doing all too bad. I mean, yes, we're in first gear, so that's gonna be a factor, sure, but, I mean, doesn't feel like... I wouldn't call it struggling. I love the wake that comes off of these tires, too. Like, you have so much tire that it just creates the biggest wake you could imagine. It's awesome. Also trying not to go too fast so I don't indirectly get, like, weird damage on the truck and then make the body panels look strange, because that's an issue that you'll run into with this truck, and an issue that you'll run into with a lot of trucks, and it's no fault of the truck, it's no fault of Frog, it's just kind of the way this game's damage modeling works. And, I mean, is it a little unfortunate? Sure, but it's just kind of one of those things. Just, hashtag just SnowRunner things. All right, let's go. Tried to put it in high and do that. It was not happy with me. Oh, wow. Is it worse? Whoa. Oh, boy. Hang on, I need, like, a second try at that, because I dropped in there, and I didn't realize how deep it was in that spot in the river, and just started submerging the whole truck. Then the current grabbed me and pulled me underneath, and I'm like, nope, that is not what we want to deal with. That is not what we want to deal with at all. So let's not do that. All right, let's also stop winching, because we got to remember, with the singles, we didn't winch at all. So that's low plus, 3/4 throttle, and it's doing okay, but it's not really doing any better than the singles did. As a matter of fact, it's doing a little worse. That is extremely surprising. The fact that it's doing a worse job with the doubles, I am incredibly surprised by that. Like, I don't know how to react to that. That's ridiculous. I figured that with the doubles, you would be doubling, obviously, your surface area of the tire and therefore doubling your grip, but it seems as though these also kind of work as big, like, you know, objects for the current to push against, and therefore it pulls the truck back more. But I'm not even sure. That's wild, though, that it's that big of an issue. Yeah, it doesn't want to go. Wow, it does not want to go. Surprising, yet impressive. Impressive on the part of the singles, like the single tires. I'm really impressed with that. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on if this played out the way you thought it would, or if it played out completely differently than you thought it would. I personally think it played out completely differently than I thought it was going to, but with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you guys next time.